Hey y'all, it's Vonnie with the Get Down, and we are back with another video. If you are not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share this video with anyone and everyone that you know. First off, I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you're having a safe day whenever you're going to look at this podcast or whenever you're going to hear this podcast. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a safe and amazing day. I took my braids down, y'all. I had to change it up. Took the braids down because I've had them in too long. So now it's just back to my natural hair, which is cool. I like wearing the natural sometimes, but I took the braids down. This is not a different person on my channel. My braids is just down. Anyway, let's get into this article. So news has it that Mike MacDonald is going to be the Seattle Seahawks coach this upcoming season. He was the defensive coach for the Baltimore Ravens that lost to the Chiefs. He's been with them for a minute, and now he's getting a head coaching position. So let's get a little bit into this article. And Seattle fans, congratulations. You know, now that Pete Carroll has stepped down, y'all need somebody else in there that can push his organization even further. So y'all were a open landing spot for him to also go to, as well as other candidates and other football teams. But this was the best fit for him. So let's get a little bit into this article. The Seattle Seahawks are hiring Baltimore Ravens defensive coordinator Mike MacDonald as their next head coach and giving him a 6-year contract, sources told ESPN Adam Schefter on Wednesday. So they're going to extend the contract 6 years. Okay, Mike, you know what that means. You got 6 years to prove yourself as a head coach. You got 6 years to prove yourself what you can do with this team. You got 6 years for yourself to see where you're going to push this team to, and if they can get a Super Bowl under your name, you know. And like I said, with Pete Carroll stepping down and now he's not the Seattle head coach anymore, they were going to need some help on that end. And he's probably the oldest head coach. And Bill Belichick and then Andy Reid will be right behind Pete Carroll as far as the oldest coaches that have been in the game for a minute, you know. So this will be a great opportunity for Mike MacDonald to see what he's going to do. He's coming off of the defensive side from being with the Ravens, and now he's going to get on the offensive side of coaching the Seattle team, you know. Who's to say he might throw his little kicks in there and his little twist in there with the defensive side for Seattle? But we don't know. But he's pulling away from the defensive side and is coming to the offensive side, but also being as the head coach, making the rules, making his name known in the building. So this is going to be a great thing for this organization. And like I said, he's been with the Ravens for a minute too, so he can bring what he's learned just even on the defensive side and bring it to this new organization that he is going to be with, which is really good. Okay, let's get a little bit more into the article. MacDonald, 36, becomes the NFL's youngest head coach and brings to Seattle a reputation as one of the league's top defensive minds, having led the Ravens to number 1 in points allowed, sacks, and takeaways in 2023, his second season as Baltimore D coordinator. MacDonald will replace longtime coach Pete Carroll after the Seahawks announced earlier this month that Carroll, 72, that's what I stated earlier because he's the oldest coach, will not return as a coach in 2024. Carroll remains with the Seahawks as an advisor, okay? He will be an advisor with the Seattle Seahawks, but he's not going to return as far as coaching-wise goes. That's it. He's done. He's hanging his coat up with it. He's already had his moment with that. And now MacDonald is stepping into his place. And, you know, he led the Ravens to be the first in almost every stat category. So he can bring, like I said, he can also bring that to the Seattle Seahawks organization too, and try to put them as number 1. You know, you let them in number 1 in points allowed, sacks, and takeaways. Who's to say you won't do the same thing for Seattle? You know, so you got to take some stuff that you learn from a certain job or a certain position and bring that to the next step that is, or the next place, the next organization, the next job. you're going to bring that with you to the next thing that is going on in your life. And with him being the head coach now, not just a defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, but he's the actual head coach now. Like I said, he got 6 years to prove himself. You got 6 years. It may seem a long time. It might not seem like a long time, but it's a good amount of that time frame that he is given to see where he's going to put this team. Are they going to be number one in this stat? Are they going to be number one in this stat? Are they going to be ranked lowest in this or ranked lowest in that? We don't know. We don't know when a coach is being brought as a head coach, and he's not just the defensive coach anymore. He's not just the offensive coach anymore. He's not the special teams coach anymore, or fifth. He was a college football coach. Now, when you bring it to the pro and you bring it to the NFL, it's a little bit higher status. You know, you got your little league, you got your middle school, you got your high school, you got your college, and then you got the pro. So, you know, he's just 36, and, you know, like it stated, he is the youngest head coach, but he can bring what he has learned and what he has even taught himself to the table, to this organization, to see where it's going to put them at, you know? So, like I said, maybe he can put the Seattle Seahawks defense, maybe they can be number one this year. The Ravens were number one, but I don't know what happened against that game with the Chiefs. The defense looked bad. He wasn't calling the best games. He wasn't calling the best plays and routes for them to do when they were playing the Chiefs. But they still went, you know, they made it that far to the championship. Unfortunately, they ain't going to be playing in the Super Bowl. But, you know, he's tried to keep them where they're number one, where they are the best. So you have to keep that same mindset, the best in your mind. That way, when you bring it to a new city, now you and your family is going to pack up and move. When you bring it to the new city, you know, you want to try to keep that going. You want to try to keep it going as much as you can and not really let up on it, you know? So let's get a little bit more into the article. What makes MacDonald a good fit in Seattle, and why did the Seahawks go in this direction? Good question. All you Seahawks fans, listen up. The Seahawks aren't going to get back to their glory days of a decade ago unless they can get by the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams, NFC West foes coached by brilliant offensive minds that have had Seattle's number of late. Yeah, we have. I can say we have. I know my team, the 49ers, has, and I know the Rams have as well, whether we're playing them on the road or at home. We've started to get their numbers now. Now, they had our numbers in the past. I'm not going to lie, because I would look at them like, dang, we just can't never beat this team. As a real fan, I would tell myself that we can't never beat this team. But we're starting to have their number now. We really are. Let me put my glasses on a little bit because I want to make sure I read it right. And that way I'm not oversaying any words or just, you know, whatever the case is. San Francisco has been the far superior team talent-wise in recent seasons. And yeah, we have, you know, thank you, article. You're giving credit where credit is due. Good. But both division rivals have had a major edge over Seattle in terms of offensive scheme. Yeah. You know, ever since even Russell Wilson, ever since he's left Seattle, you know, it's still Geno Smith, he filled that hole in, he filled the gap in, but they still had their moments where they weren't the best, you know. The Legion of Boom, when Richard Sherman was playing, when Chandler was playing, it was two other guys. They were all the Legion of Boom, Legion of Doom. When they were playing, you know, I mean, their defense was on fire. Hardly anybody could really get past their defense, especially us playing them so much. I mean, I would be like, dang, we just can't get past this team for whatever reason. But over time, we started to pick their numbers. We started to, you know, pick how they are, what they do when they're doing certain plays and stuff like that. We started to catch on to it. Now Russell Wilson is with the Broncos. Geno Smith, he's in with the Seattle Seahawks. Andrew Luck is in with the Seattle Seahawks. So when a certain player leaves the team, you know, sometimes it's like, yes, because it gives the other team in that division an advantage to be taken of. Like, okay, now that Russell Wilson isn't with them anymore because he used to scramble out the pocket, this and that. Okay, now it's a little bit lighter weight on our shoulders. We're going up against Geno Smith and Andrew Luck and Kyle Murray and Matthew Stafford. Those are not names, no offense, those are not names that are really scary in the division. I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna play up against them. Hey, we got it. So sometimes when different players move from certain teams, it kind of takes a weight off the team that is in that division, off, a little weight off their shoulder. Like, oh, okay, now we know what to do for the future schedule or the future season coming up. Now this is how we can handle the team. So it's being presented like that, That presented a central question in the Seahawks coaching search. Should they hire an offensive coach who will keep up in scoring with Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay? Yeah. Or a defensive coach who will help stop them? So when they were trying to decide on the decision for that, those were the two main questions that they were trying to come up with as far as, how do we want to read this? How are we going to read it now that we know the coaches that are in this division? Do we want one for the offensive side, or are we looking more one for the defensive side? Because he was already making sure the Ravens were defense and points allowed, sacks, and takeaways. So do you want to keep him at that same position with putting him with the Seattle Seahawks for their defensive coordinator? Or do you want to switch it up and put him on the offensive side? That way he can keep up with my coach Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, because we can put up some numbers. So that's what they were trying to look for. And lo and behold, they came up with the answer. They want him as the head coach. Okay, let's switch up the head coach. Let's see if you can keep up with them, because these guys, they know how to run the plays. They run the West Coast play style, the playbook. They run that. They can score. These teams know how to score. So it's different factors that you have to look into that when giving somebody the opportunity to see if they're going to live up to those means that is required of them to do so. So this is what made them go with, well, you know what? Let's put him on the offensive side. We see what he can do with the defense, okay? We see it very clear, especially with the Ravens, because he was with them. We see it very clear what he can do with the defense. But let's see how he is with the offense. And sometimes when you're switching roles, you still want to try to have that confidence, of course, but now you're doing something a little bit different. It might be the same somewhat, but it's still different on the other hand. Let's go a little bit more into this article, okay? Who knows which would have been the choice had Lions OC Ben Johnson still been in play, but with Johnson opting to stay in Detroit, because it was another article that Ben Johnson, they were going to have him either come in for the Seattle Seahawks as well, or for the Washington Commanders, and he said no. He said it loud and clear, no. He's not going to leave the Lions. He's not. It's either going to be Seattle or Washington. And, he just made it plain and simple. No, I don't want to go nowhere. I want to stay right here. So we'll get into a little bit of that article too. But I'm glad that, he just made his decision right then and there. MacDonald felt like an easy call. After all, he coordinated what has arguably been the NFL's best defense over the past 2 seasons, and without a doubt, the top unit, in 2023. Yep, like I said, give credit where credit is due. The Ravens, they have a best defense. Look at what they did to me and my team. But somehow they just messed up against the Chiefs. I don't know. Baltimore became the first team in NFL history to allow fewest points. Listen to this, y'all. This is why I stated what I said earlier. 16.5 per game total, the most sacks 60, and record the most takeaways 31 in the same season per ESPN stat and information. So, he's had them up there when it comes to defensive plays, when it comes to them making a stop, getting an interception. I mean, all of that. He's made his name and statement known defensive wise. Like, hey, I'm good at this defensive stuff. Keep me here. Keep me here. But now he's transitioning to the offensive side. So we are going to see how that is going to hold up for him. And perhaps most encouraging for the Seahawks is what the defense did to San Francisco in Baltimore. 33-19 win over the 49ers on Christmas night. The Ravens had 5 interceptions, and Brock Purdy, whose 7.1 quarterback rating in that game was his worst over 2 NFL seasons. Okay. I'm not mad about that. That game, it came and it went, okay? But look who's in the Super Bowl. Look who in the Super Bowl. So, when you have a defensive coach that's just good, especially at the numbers like that, where you're keeping it minimum, per game, the points per game. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. So we are going to see what he is going to do for the offensive side of the Seattle Seahawks coach. So he is being hired. So all you Seahawks fans, y'all can't cheer because now y'all can see what he's going to be able to do with the team. Hey, I mean, we never know. When all these hirings, firings, transitions, trades, cuts, when all of these are going on, you want to look at your teams to be like, dang, this is what we got to improve in, or who's probably going to come in and help us improve that, And if it's somebody that you're really just not thinking about, who could probably come in and save the day or anything like that, those would be the main guys that get the job done. Maybe the main ones that get the job done. So, congratulations to all you Seahawk fans, because I know a couple of you. Congratulations to all you Seahawk fans. I think Mike MacDonald, I think he's a great fit for y'all. I think he's going to do some changes. He's going to do some things with you guys. It's going to be phenomenal. It'll be phenomenal a year for you guys. It's going to be a great season for all these teams, and everybody that's going to come in. And don't forget, the draft, that's going to come too. So now it's going to be more players on these teams. But majority of the time, what certain position your team may need a little help more on, or maybe this needs to be filled in a little bit more. It's okay, but we need to try to get it to where it's better, So Mike McDaniel, congratulations to you, sir. You are going to be the Seahawks' new coach this upcoming season. I'm sure Pete Carroll going to give you some talks in there and tell you how he used to run it. Maybe you can pick up some information from him, get some advice from him on how you did everything, because you coming from the defensive side to the offensive side. So now the roles have to change, how you're going to view everything and how you're going to play everything out when it comes to the game and the whole organization. So congrats to all of you Seahawks fans. Congratulations, Mike McDaniel. Let's see what you're gonna bring this upcoming season. Hey, let's see what happens with every team. That includes mine. That includes the Chiefs that we're getting ready to play. But let's see what's gonna happen this upcoming season. So if you guys like this video, give it a fat thumbs up, and don't forget to share it and leave a comment section in the comment section what you think about this hiring, what you think about this news that the Seahawks will be getting Mike McDaniels, because he was a defensive coordinator for the Ravens. So leave me your thoughts and your comments down below in the comment section. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That way you can be notified every time that I drop a banger. Okay, and let me know what other videos you guys want to see. Please let me know so I can know what y'all want to hear and talk about. That way the content can keep being updated. So if that is all, always remember, stay prayed up and stay blessed.